Welcome to This Day. It is January 25th. It's Saturday. I know you were probably expecting Michael. He's been out sick for the week, so we definitely are sending him get well wishes. We are looking forward to some rain later on this evening. We'll tell you about that in just a bit. But on today's show, we have Caring Senior Service with Dean White and his guest, Michelle Sullivan. They're going to be telling us about caregiving and hospice, two very important topics you're going to want to know about. And then later in the show, we have Advanced Ear Care with Stuart Spencer. He's got some breakthrough technology in hearing aids that he would like to share with you. But first, we want to keep you informed, folks. How many of you are getting on the Laguna Woods Village website? Be sure and visit and utilize the Laguna Woods Facebook page for news and updates from around the village. Please like and subscribe. Do that at facebook.com/Laguna Woods Village. Let's increase those numbers. Okay, folks, we've got a system coming in today, so looking at some rain for this evening. Our temperatures are much lower than they were during the week. Looks like we're going to have a high of 61 today. Mostly sunny, but those showers are coming in tonight. We've got some PM showers. Lots of showers on Sunday over the weekend, and then tapering off again on Monday to partly cloudy skies for next week. Love it when it rains. We definitely need it here in Southern California. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:51 a.m. Our sunset will be at 5:14 p.m. This is Rainbows at Sunrise. Holy wow, a double rainbow in fact. That's from Idaho, from our very own Cole Young. Thank you, Cole, for sending that to us. If you'd like to send us your photo, please do so. Please send it to Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in a horizontal format, please. And next up, after the break, we have Caring Senior Service, so stay with us.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We follow the mantra, when family can't be there, we can. We started our business almost 30 years ago because we realized that seniors in these situations still need loving care. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
And welcome back to the show. Our next guests are going to be telling us when and why to call for a caregiver or hospice. We welcome Dean White from Caring Senior Service and his guest, Michelle Sullivan from Stewart Hospice, to the show. Welcome, you two.
Thanks, Bree. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you too. We've got some pretty heavy subjects to talk about today, but I think that we'll get through them and we'll alleviate any anxiety that might be going on through the minds and the hearts of our viewers.
That's our goal, definitely.
Okay. Dean, let's start off with you. Can you give us an example of how caregiving can be less expensive than a hospital visit or going into rehab?
You know, we have a great example right now. We're in a home right now that we're there just for a couple days a week, and the family was just trying to get mom to have a caregiver come in because the family could see it that she needed that.
It was time.
And mom was just really reluctant, and sure enough, mom fell in the middle of the night. And so she not only now has the cost of the ambulance, but the cost of the pain of going through rehab. She'll be in rehab for 2 weeks, and then she has 3 broken ribs and a bruised knee from falling. And just that time with the family and et cetera, that the family's now going to take time off for their day and to be there. So that's a cost away from their work. and then also the pain for mom just to rehab. When she gets out of rehab, which is often aren't the greatest facilities compared to home. Home is wonderful.
Right.
And then we bring in more caregivers, which if we're just able to balance that with a system where we can have a caregiver come every day, and there's a good chance that we're able to monitor how mom is doing, and we can. It sounds, it's just so expensive when a fall happens or somebody does actually get hurt. Then we have to have other equipment come in the house, and it's just going to be more time extensive to get that care that you need. So better to have a little more care in the beginning.
Sure.
And especially if mom or dad are reaching that age where they might have some slips and falls, or there might be some dementia that's coming in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so on the heels of that and having caregiving in the home, let's touch on the subject of hospice. Mm-hmm. Michelle, you work for Steward Hospice.
I do.
So how do you take the fear out of, I call it, the H word, because it's a very scary word. It's a very serious word. But so how do you take that fear out of the minds of people who are considering bringing hospice in, or maybe their physician has told them that it's time? How do you take the fear out of the minds of the families?
So oftentimes people associate hospice with giving up hope. And really, hospice care is just the opposite. It's focusing on a patient-centric care right wherever they call home, whether it's in a facility or at their home. And really helping to guide the families through the whole transition and keep them educated through the process. So for example, oftentimes patients are referred maybe from the hospital in a scary setting after a fall, for example, or a UTI. Sometimes those start coming on when someone's appropriate for hospice. And so what I'll do is I'll go to the hospital, meet with them, explain everything, and really kind of handhold through the process. And once they meet our team, it's always a great experience for them. And so it's really more patient-centric. And
there's been an example that Michelle has called me before and said, Dean, I've got a call, I met with a family, they're not yet ready for hospice. They just need more in-home care. So just because the call has been made doesn't necessarily mean it's time yet.
Exactly.
You let Michelle and her team come in, they're able to take away that fear, to really assess things and then provide some great support. Education alone takes away fear.
Absolutely. 100%.
And reassurance. And once somebody comes on to hospice, you don't have to stay on hospice. So if they change their mind down the road and say, you know what, I want to get one more treatment, or there's a new trial that I want to try, then they're welcome to do that. And so it's not that they have to, that it's just by signing consents and coming on service means that they have to stay on. They definitely have choices.
Right. And so hospice doesn't necessarily mean end of life. No.
No, definitely not. In fact, there's many times that somebody has come on hospice, gotten better, and then been taken off of hospice.
Yeah. Now, to qualify for hospice, a doctor has to look at a patient's prognosis and say whether or not within 6 months will somebody still be here. So if they stop any sort of aggressive treatments, or if the disease process takes its natural course. So that's kind of where the baseline is, but we've had patients that have surpassed 6 months, and we just do a recertification and keep them on service and continue with care as long as they qualify.
Okay. So Dean, so many caregiver options.
Yeah.
How do our viewers get informed about the myriad of options that are offered?
Yeah, well, I guess it always starts with a phone call, and I'm a no pressure, my team is no pressure kind of people. We want to inform. We really want to take the worry away from the family. And so a lot of times we will meet with them and just talk with them about what options they have. Some people are calling me and they don't even know that they have VA benefits, for instance, or that how to engage with their long-term care. And so sometimes I'm able to just talk with them and find out that there's other ways for us to pay for things. And then just options of what caregivers can do. Anything from doing laundry to preparing meals to preparing meds. companionship, doctor visits, groceries, cooking meals is a huge one. Just to know that mom or dad are getting good meals on a regular basis. And then if we provide a caregiver that is a good caregiver but just not the right fit for the family, that's a simple phone call. They just call us and say, Dean, lovely caregiver, just not the right fit for us.
Sure.
And then we bring in somebody new.
Sure. And on the heels of that, Michelle, what exactly does hospice cover?
So hospice is the only program that was designed by Medicare that requires an entire interdisciplinary team to take care of the patient, from symptom management, psychosocial, bereavement, and then even spiritual. So you have a whole team that comes into your home. The only person that you have to have is the nurse. So if you don't want to have somebody come in for maybe bath visits, or you don't want a social worker to come in, you don't have to have those services. And all of it is covered, is covered through Medicare, and then also some private HMOs and PPOs as well. And a doctor will oversee all of the care. So the doctor will be in communication with the hospice team, whether it's our physician or the patient's physician. They have a choice. So whoever they would like to choose.
And my company and Michelle's company work really well hand in hand. So the caregiving can be there 24/7 or as few as 4 hours a week. But we come on as a caregiver. Then when somebody brings in hospice comes in and they can provide a hospital bed. They can provide multiple other things that somebody might need, including oxygen, and anything that can help prolong and enhance somebody's life. And that's covered all under Medicare.
Sure. And what would you both say? What would your advice be when you have a very independent parent or loved one who just thinks that they can do everything themselves, and it's really hard on the families? They have to bathe them, they have to clean them, they have to do everything. It's almost as if they're taking care of a young child again. But the parent just utterly refuses.
Yeah, we have that a lot. We have Joe right now that just wants his wife to take care of him.
Yes.
And
yes.
Joe has dementia, and it is beautiful family. Love this family. And the wife is just so much weight upon her. It's so much that she loses sleep. She is one step away from getting ill herself. So we slowly bring a caregiver in and have that person come alongside of the family. And then throughout the months, we'll increase hours. But it doesn't mean that we jump in full force yet.
Right.
But we get
just
somebody
kind of
comfortable.
dipping their toes in and
That's
just
right.
having the family, just kind of build that rapport and that friendship,
That
right?
trust, absolutely.
The trust.
Yeah, and same with hospice. So if we assign a nurse to a family and it doesn't really jive and they want someone else, we can always change out staff. But it's really about starting off slow and building that trust with the family. And typically, just having the right person in there makes a huge difference. So even for example, we have my friend's mother was on service with us for hospice, and we worked with Dean's company, and Dean's company provided a wonderful caregiver, Brittany, to my friend's her mother's boyfriend. And Norm is very, very hard-headed and wants his space, but he was able to get wonderful care with Brittany.
The caregiver makes a huge deal. The caregiver can come in and instantly build rapport, and they know their job because that's what their heart is.
Right.
And they're just beautiful people that come underneath. The same thing that you have with Tracy and your nurse. She is wonderful.
They love Tracy. She is wonderful.
Yeah, so it really comes to the right caregiver walking in, and just the families can see it happen, and then the anxiety just goes down on everybody, and the person's life and joy builds back up.
Well, I can attest to everything that the both of you are saying. I've been through this entire experience myself, and have been through every single stage. And when those caregivers came in, I just, it's a sad moment, but it's a relief. It really helped with all the anxiety.
Well, our goal is to to minimize the sadness and to
Yes.
increase the joy. Because like in your circumstance, a caregiver comes in, helps with mom so that the daughter can be with her mom and you don't have to be the caregiver.
Right. On that note, thank you for joining us today, Dean and Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you want more information on Caring Senior Service or information on hospice, please call Caring Senior Service at 949-712-9265 or jump on their website at caringseniorservicelw.com. We'll be right back after these messages.
What would it feel like to hear better? Many people are trapped in the isolation of poor hearing and don't realize it. Even people that are wearing other hearing aids. They only know the way they hear, not how much better they could be hearing. We've taken patients that were hearing 24% of conversations and improved them to 92%. A life-changing difference. Put on these hearing aids and hear better, automatically. No buttons to push or technology to fear. Artificial intelligence and these products do all the work. Don't settle for less. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Here to discuss their commitment to exceptional care, navigating insurance with ease, and the latest advancements in hearing technology, we welcome Advanced Ear Care and Stuart Spencer to the show.
Thank you. Nice to
Stuart,
be here today,
welcome.
Bree. Thank you.
Nice to have you back.
Oh, I appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here we go, right?
We are launching. We are launching. So last year we ended 2024 talking about insurance and how important it is. So let's launch this year talking about the same.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's so critical. You know, today there's so many different third parties involved in care for hearing. You know, and so people are a little confused about what their benefits are. You know, everybody has Medicare. You know, they know what their Plan A is.
I tell you what,
know, their
that
Plan
whole
B supplement.
everything about insurance is confusing.
And so people think, oh, you know, gosh, I signed up for a program, you know, where it covers hearing aids, you know, so I get a free hearing aid. Well, they don't, you know, they get like $500 off, or they have to buy one that they mail them, or they have to buy a certain one, or they have to buy a certain one from the insurance company, then we fit it. So it's just kind of confusing, you know. So we navigate all that, but here's the really cool thing, is, you know, when the year turns over, now many of those people, even if they purchased new hearing aids last year through their insurance, can get another new hearing aid this year.
Is that right?
With newer technology, better benefits. And so, you know, just because the calendar turned, then they're eligible again. And they think, oh,
Fantastic.
I've already got that, so I don't have that benefit.
Yeah, but technology improves
gosh.
and advances
It's just skyrocketing.
so fast.
So fast.
You can't keep up.
That's right, and it works. You know, I mean, we fit people even out of the most recent technology into the newer technologies. We're like, oh my gosh, Stuart, I hear so much better.
Even just a year apart.
That's right. That's right.
Incredible.
So it's really, really been important, you know, to stay into those benefits, because we catch somebody that like, oh no, I don't have any hearing aid benefits. We check and they're like, oh my gosh, they pay half, you know. So it's really good, you know. So we'll find out all that stuff for them if they just, you know, let us know what their, you know, policies are, their numbers. That we'll call, verify it all, and let them know, you know. So then they know where they're at and they know how to move forward with better hearing. And then, of course, you know, if they don't move forward, we help them with what they have, you know, to maximize the clarity for them.
Now, Stuart, explain to us, are there any differences year to year in the fitting? Does the ear canal change at all?
Yeah, you know,
Does the
it
fitting
really,
change?
it doesn't, you know, the ear canal pretty much stays the same size after you're 13 years old, unless it gets real droopy or something, which, you know, that is the case sometimes. But the fit, the physical fit of the hearing aid is so critical, you know, and that's where the hands-on type of fitting really comes into play, and the patient care that we give people, you know, because we see misfit hearing aids all the time. We correct the fitting, the physical fit of how the hearing aid goes in the ear and seals in the ear, because when it's sealed in that canal, it drives the sound from the ear to the brain. and then they hear so much better. So even with the hearing aids people are wearing, if they're not fit properly, we can refit them, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier to hear.
I would
So it's
imagine
critical.
if they don't fit properly, you're going to get some sort of like background static noise. Like,
Yeah, you get the feedback, and then you're
Kind of
always
that white
you're always
noise
pushing
that's
them
always
in,
there.
doing this, and they're not comfortable, whatever it may be. They're loose, so the fit's really critical.
Yeah.
And then, not just the physical fit, but today the hearing aids are so sophisticated with all the AI, artificial intelligence in the hearing aid. They've got to be programmed properly so that they can see the soundscape of the person and really identify what that patient needs when they need it. And so we can program that into the technology so that it provides the best hearing for them. And the programming is really important. We see hearing aids come in where they've just gotten them and put them on, and the programs are so far off, people really aren't doing well. And we reprogram the hearing aid they have, and again, it's like, geez, this is so much better. So all that's so critical.
It's so critical. Now, what would you say to those people who are checking out at Costco or a big box store, and they say they see the big sign hearing aids, and they
Sure.
stop in, and so what's the difference? How, versus somebody that can go in and
Sure.
grab a pair
Well,
off the shelf?
It's a real
versus
common question.
What you guys are.
I love Costco, right?
I do too.
I really do. And I love Costco being in the hearing aid business, to be honest. And they get more people wearing hearing aids than I ever could out of our little store over here. But then people come in with those hearing aids, and we show them the difference. They're like, wow,
Yeah.
this is really
so this
important.
is just sort of an introductory,
Well, they have
bringing awareness to.
They have some good technologies. Of course, their whole thing is the price point, right? People think, oh, I'm going to save thousands of dollars, and go to Costco and buy hearing aids. And they do, and they wear them, but then they see that they can hear a lot better, or they wear them and they're not hearing as well as they thought they would be. And they come to businesses like ours, and then we fit them with something a lot better, a lot more accurate, a lot more physically fit, like we were talking about. And they're like, oh my gosh. So actually, that Costco hearing aid, becomes the most expensive hearing aid you ever bought, because you just have to put it away and get something that's a little bit more sophisticated and better fit.
Gosh. Well, and then I would imagine that, you have to go in on a regular basis to get those hearing aids fine-tuned. Is that correct?
You know what? Hearing aids take a lot of care, and so what our typical process is once we're done with the initial fitting and programming, we know somebody's really hearing well. We see them every 3 months, just to look in their ears, check for any wax blockage, anything else, check the fit, and then ask exactly how they're doing. If there are any critical areas they're not hearing well in, reprogram, and do everything, and just on a quarterly basis. And all that's included in the purchase of the hearing aid if they purchase it from us, not a third party. And then annually, we retest their hearing, see if there's any changes, and then adapt the new programs to that. So it takes a lot, which they don't get in those other places for sure.
Right. So what are you seeing for advancements in technology in 25? We're just launching the year.
Well,
Something's got to be
yeah, well, I tell you,
percolating out
yeah, it's mind-blowing. I mean, compared to where I was, 15 years ago, 40 years ago,
Sure.
I would never think we could get this close to perfect hearing, but we're getting there. We're not there yet, but I mean, it's amazing, how well people can hear in noise. The technology is faster, smarter, sharper. I mean, Audibel, has invented these hearing systems that, are looking at your soundscape, as I was mentioning earlier, like 20,000 times a second, then analyzing what's there and then shifting that response to maximize what we call this signal to noise ratio. So it reduces the background noise so then you can hear the speech more clearly. And now, I mean, they're really getting to where they're developing it to where almost anybody can wear them. And, like if you double tap your ear,
Right.
just like that, I can say, hey, how many home runs did Babe Ruth hit in his lifetime? And it'll come back and say, Babe Ruth hit 714 hearing aids in his career.
So
I mean, it's like a
literally
Siri
like
search,
having
right?
AI
Google, yeah.
in your
So,
ear.
I mean, we're getting to a place where, because we don't want people to be stuck with their face in a phone, we want them to be interacting with people. And so this just opens that up. And oh, by the way, if you have hearing loss, we can correct that too. So we're starting to call them wearables. Starkey's just taking it to a whole different level. It's not just for hearing impaired people. People with normal hearing can wear them as well.
They just want the convenience of getting all the knowledge.
Well, you answer
and the
your
facts.
phone. You can click the button, answer your phone if it's in your purse, and just say, hey, hello. Then you start to have a conversation. You don't have your phone on you.
Well, I guess it's the same as the earbuds, right?
Well, it's a
from
lot,
Apple.
but it's a lot more accurate, and they're much more comfortable because they're custom fit. Those AirPods.
Right.
You
But
kind of pop
just
in your
for
ear.
listening to music or podcasts.
Yeah,
right?
music,
but you can
podcasts,
still double click
stream
it.
your telephones, the whole thing. And it's pretty powerful.
So real quick, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Sure.
Do you think they're ever going to develop a hearing aid that is actually implanted into the skull?
Well, there's a lot of risk to that, and it's a whole different kind of category of care. They have cochlear implants today and everything. So I'll get a cochlear implant. Well, there's a lot of risk, to failure there. And if that type of thing happens, then you can't hear, So sometimes
So we'll leave that
you
for
see
the
the happy
future.
baby, that hears for the first time. It's beautiful for those scenarios and such a
Yes,
good technology
yes.
for many people that,
Yes.
are beyond heering aids. But today, we get pretty close. We can put a hearing aid down in somebody's ear canal right, near their eardrum where it's not seen on the outside.
Okay.
It's virtually, invisible. And
Well, we'll see what the future brings us, right?
Amen. That's right.
All right, Stuart Spencer
good
with
stuff.
Advanced Ear Care. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always great to be here, Bree. Go beyond better hearing with artificial intelligence. At Advanced Ear Care, we've taken regular hearing care to a new level with artificial intelligence performance. This provides smarter, clearer balance of sound. Artificial intelligence identifies background noises and reduces them so you can hear the soft-spoken speech clearly. Don't be afraid of this technology. It works automatically. Put them on and hear better all day in all situations. Hear the conversations clearly with family, friends, and caregivers. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
All right, folks, let's take a look at tonight's movie preview. It is Patton, 1970s film starring George C. Scott, brought to us by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. This is a biographical war drama that follows General George S. Patton during World War II, showcasing his brilliant yet controversial leadership. It's showing at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles. Monday on this day, we have Right at Home with Frank Belante and Hispanic Heritage Club with Walter Valencia. So that will do it for us here on this episode of This Day. And from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for Peace.